It's about the reason we can play and because of freedom. Because of the service men and women that put their lives on the line so we can celebrate that freedom each and every day. Happy Memorial Day as we salute our veterans. It's the Orioles on Masson on a gorgeous Memorial Day Monday here at Camden Yards. The Orioles welcome in the Houston Astros. It's the opener of a 3-game series. And hi, everyone. I'm Jim Hunter. And as the Orioles reach this Memorial Day holiday, they are a team in search of consistency. The Birds know they can hit because they have. They know they can pitch because they have. What they haven't been able to do is get those two parts of the game going at the same time. And if you look at the breakdown of the first 2 months of the season, it tells the story. In April, it was all about the bats. A .286 batting average, 29 home runs, 5.6 runs per game. But in May, the hitting has tailed off. .230, 17 home runs, and 3.3 runs per game. And how about the pitching? In April, it struggled, 4.78, but now in May, 3.28, and the opposing batting average about the same. And Mike Bordick, the Orioles have a team they believe will contend in this division. The problem has been they haven't been able to be in concert with the hitting and the pitching at the same time.
Well, that's really what it's all been about for this team. Nothing has worked together, and when it does, they really play the best baseball in the league. I mean, offensively, they can compete with anybody. Pitching-wise, they proved last year, the second half of the season, they can pitch with any team in the game. The bullpen's always been strong for this team the last 3-4 years. So it's just a matter of everything coming together, and it better come together here in this series. This is a very important homestand for this Orioles team. They play well at home. They average over 5.5 runs per game here. They're going to be facing one of the best pitchers in the game in Keuchel for the Astros, and one of the greatest stories in the game this year, the Houston Astros. From a last-place team, considered now one of the favorites to win the World Series. They're playing great baseball. They hit home runs. They hit the long ball. They have great team speed. Altuve, really the spark plug of this team, the team leader, their second baseman. He does everything defensively. Offensively, he can hit for average. He can hit for power. He can steal bases. They have a young right fielder, Springer, that steals bases. But they're hitting the long ball. They don't have a high team batting average. They swing and miss a lot. Second in the league in strikeouts. Maybe first in the league in strikeouts. So it's up to the Orioles pitchers to come up with that put-away pitch. Down in Miami, 6 of the 11 hits with runners in scoring position were with 2 strikes on the batter. So come up with that put-away pitch. Try to get these guys to swing and miss because they know they can do it.
So today the Orioles begin an 8-game homestand as they welcome in the Astros on Memorial Day Monday. Lineups and first pitch are next. is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. We have a gorgeous holiday Monday here at Camden Yards. Our BGE home game time temperature is a very pleasant 82 degrees. The wind's out of the south, and a very comfortable 39% in the humidity. BGE Home is Baltimore's home team for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Why would you call anyone else? So the Orioles welcome in the leading team in the AL West, and they have an outstanding lineup. Power-wise, George Springer will lead off, then Jose Altuve. On the road, .318 batting average. He is one of the best hitters in all of Major League Baseball. Valbuena, Gaddis, and Carter, with Tucker in left, Villar, Conger, and Marisnick in center field.
And let's take a look at Wei-Yin Chen's pitch arsenal this season. The fastball, his best pitch 64% of the time. That great ability to work it in and out. Keeping it down in the zone is going to be crucial today. Breaking ball has a slow curve, and the hard slider, when that slider is on, can be a big strikeout pitch for Chen. 12% changeups. That pitch is getting better and better. A pitch he worked on this spring. It's a straight change. 2.90 earned run average, just 1 win, 3 losses for Wei-Yin Chen this year. He has been outstanding. That record does not show how well he's pitched. 38 punchouts, just 14 walks, holding opponents to a .221 batting average overall. Take a look at the right-handed hitter. 6 home runs out of his 7. So he's got to pitch the righties tough. That's where that slider down and in can be crucial.
So the Orioles facing an Astros team that is off to its best 45-game start at 29-16 in franchise history. And Mike, when you look at this team and you see they come in dead last in the American League in team batting at .231, you wonder how the heck are they winning these games?
Right, I know. Well, they're getting some guys on base. They can put pressure on stealing bases. They have great team speed at the top and the bottom of that lineup. Altuve and Springer at the top, both over 10 stolen bases each, and then the Marisnick in the number 9 hole can get on base as well, but they let it fly. They do not get cheated.
Yeah, the home runs are key, 64 most in the league, and here is George Springer, who has 6 of those 64 home runs. Not a prototypical leadoff man, but then again, neither is Manny Machado, and there's a slicer in the right for a base hit leading off. Springer first ball hitting, and Delman Young will play it back in.
Take a look at the Orioles defense this afternoon. De Aza, Jones, and Young in the Orioles outfield. Hardy and Cabrera up the middle. Machado over at third. Steve Pearce getting the start at first, and Caleb Joseph back behind the plate. Mr. Versatility. Steve Pearce has been playing a great second base for the Orioles. And Jonathan Scope has gone down, but also a great first baseman. Last year when he filled in Gold Glove caliber first base, I think Buck Showalter likes his defense over there and is not afraid really to put him in any position on the field.
Jose Altuve now with a runner on. And he first ball swings and a base hit in the left field. So there's your scouting report for the Astros. Chen tries to get ahead, jump on it. Back-to-back hits on just 2 pitches.
Yeah, 2 pitches, and you know they're not bad pitches either. I mean, this is elevated, but it's riding in. I don't know that it's a pitch that you look for. I think they have a mindset right now to stay aggressive, and a couple base hits, not hit extremely hard. That one off the label finds a hole, and even Springer's hit off the end of the bat on a down and away fastball.
So 2 on with none down, and Chen will have to go to work now on Luis Valbuena, who is tied for 6th in the league with those 10 home runs. He is, however, 0 for his last 10, which has dipped his batting average below 200 at 199. First lefty to face Chen in this game. He shows bunt and he bunts it foul. Here's our Express Stat by Express Care, a LifeBridge health partner. For locations, visit whywaitintheer.com.
Well, here you go. Wei-Yin Chen this season with nobody on, 226. That's 41st, and that's not a bad overall batting average with runners on. He bears down 212. That's 17th. But take a look, runners in scoring position, just 118. Very impressive from Wei-Yin Chen.
And the 0-1 down and away.
Well, you can kind of get a feel for this Astros offense. Aggressive early, and then Valbuena, who has the 10th leading this Astros powerhouse team with 10 home runs, goes to lay down a bunt and get some runners, both runners in the scoring position. Trying to make that mark early.
Well, you don't often see your number 3 hitter willing to sacrifice his at bat for the good of the team, and Chen gets a pitch by him. 1-2.
Yeah, good fastball, extra life at the top of the zone. Caleb Joseph setting up away, does catch that outer third of the plate, a little bit elevated. Wei Chen has that extra life at the end of his fastball. Nice true four-seamer. Top of the zone can be a good strikeout pitch for him.
He's ahead of Valbuena. And the 1-2 foul back.
Goes right back to the top of the zone. Now, you think Wei Chen, the velocity isn't 96, 97. We see a lot of power arms nowadays. 92, 93 miles an hour, but he has such a smooth, efficient delivery. Ball just explodes with that extra life out of his hand.
Well, Chen is hunting a strikeout here, and the Astros have struck out more than any team in the American League. And the 1-2 is a little high. Breaking ball, and Valbuena laid off.
I don't know if he wanted to leave that slider up at the top of the zone, but he would have loved to have been helped out by a home plate umpire with that potential third strike call. As you said, coming up with that big strikeout pitch has been a problem. In that last series against Miami, hard time putting hitters away.
Popped up, back of the plate. Caleb Joseph will put it away for the out. And Chen gets a dangerous long ball threat on a weak pop-up behind the plate, one down.
There you go. Nice job working there, mixing up his pitches well after first two hitters swing at the first pitches. Chen going to that slider, able to get the pop-up right up the elevator shaft to Caleb.
Chen signaling to J.J. Hardy and Everth Cabrera as to which player he'll throw to if there's a comebacker to start a double play. Here's Evan Gattis, the former Brave, first year with the Astros. He is tied for 10th in the league in home runs with those 9. The Astros 64 home runs to lead the American League. And they lead the major leagues in percentage of runs scored off the long ball. And a swing and a miss. Mike, they have scored 98 of their 202 runs off home runs. That is 48.5%, almost half their runs via the long ball. So the moral of the story is keep it in the ballpark, you might beat them.
Well, it sounds familiar, doesn't it? I mean,
the
Baltimore
Orioles
a home run hitting team that really rely on that long ball. And for the Astros' benefit, getting a lot of production from the top of their lineup, and they're also a great late inning team. A lot of their production has come from the 7th inning on. Not only do they have a shutdown bullpen, but an offense that can produce if they're down.
All right, now Caleb Joseph requested time there, and he's calling in Cabrera as well. He may be suspicious that Springer might be relaying signs to the plate.
Well, you have to be aware of that. Why not take care of it early in a ball game? Nice job by Caleb Joseph. Maybe even it was Cabrera that said he might be seeing something out of Springer at second base. You always have to keep your eyes on players trying to pick up advantages, you know, throughout a ball game. And maybe Caleb or Cabrera saw that and wants to change signs here early on.
Gattis has 16 extra base hits of his 31 hits on the year. The Astros this past off season, a little different approach than in past years. They've been building and building and building through the draft and trading for younger players. A.J. Hinch hired as manager, and this offseason they went out and got a few veterans, including Evan Gattis, and they got Pat Neshek and Luke Gregerson for the back end of their bullpen.
Yeah, they made some pretty good moves, and I think they made moves that are smart. Players that potentially don't cost them a lot of money. Players that will potentially be attractive to other teams come the end of July if the Astros aren't there. But right now these guys are working out very well for them. I think the bullpen, you mentioned a couple of the arms, Neshek out there especially really holding that bullpen down, and every one of them is throwing well. And I think the fact that they have 8 arms out in that Astros bullpen helps too. A lot of teams carry the 7 bullpen pitchers. Astros 8 bullpen arms. They can play matchup. They complement each other. A couple side armors out there, one righty, one lefty. So some pretty good arms, and they're off to a great start this season.
Yeah, the Astros have a 3-man bench to keep that extra reliever in the pen. The 1-2 on Gattis. Runners holding at first and second. One down here in the first. And it's outside. Now with Steve Pearce well wide of first and deep, not holding Altuve. Altuve is getting a huge lead off first base, where he's hoping if Gattis hits one to the gap, he'll be able to score from first. He edges off, but he knows there's no way Pierce can sneak in behind him. Look at the size of the lead that he is edging off of first base.
Oh, real big lead. And the one thing I'd like to see Pierce maybe keep him a little bit closer.
And a swing and a miss. So Chen, after back-to-back singles, retires the next two as Gaddis goes down on strikes.
Well, there you go. This is the strikeout pitch we're looking for. Good fastball, just challenges him right down the middle. Gaddis maybe looking for something else. And Chen challenging with the fastball for the first strikeout of the game in a crucial situation.
A way in and out, a way of getting out of it. And here is Chris Carter. 170 average. Don't be fooled by that, though. 7 home runs, 20 RBIs. He is the poster child of all or nothing. And let's get a look at our American standards. Who's hot and who's not.
Yeah, Manny Machado, last 25 games, 323, 3 homers, 8 RBIs. He has been on fire. Chris Carter, I mean, just about every year you're looking at this. 62 strikeouts. That's tied for second most in Major League Baseball. But when he hits them far.
Chen falls behind 1-0. American Standard Who's Hot, Who's Not. You can celebrate the season with the American Standard All-Star event. Visit MidAtlanticComfort.com for amazing rebate and financing opportunities. Chen falls behind Carter 2-0, and there's the power zone.
Yeah, well, you can see why he strikes out a lot. It's not a huge power zone, but you make a mistake middle, down in that lower third. That's his bat path, and that's where he rakes.
And he pops it up. Shallow right center. Delman Young looked at Adam Jones, but now he'll take it, and he's got it for the out, angling to prevent being blinded by the sun. Chen gets out of it. We head to the bottom of the first. Here come the Birds. First, here come the Orioles. Here's a look at the O's starting lineup, brought to you by Southwest. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Manny Machado in the leadoff spot. Good career numbers in games against the AL West, including 10 home runs. Radies, Jones, and Young with Pierce at first today. Hardy, Joseph, Cabrera, and Diaz.
Take a look at Dallas Keuchel's pitch arsenal this season. The fastball 67% of the time. He can move it. He can locate it up and down, in and out of the zone. Breaking ball 16% of the time. Has the slider. He cuts his fastball as well. Has a changeup. 167 earned run average. That's the best in the American League. Pitcher of the month for the month of April. He has had an outstanding start to the 2015 season. 186 overall batting average. That leads the American League as well.
So Keuchel, the perfect 6-0 in 9 starts, falls behind Manny Machado, who's got a 7-game hitting streak. His play begins today. And one thing about Keuchel and his off-speed pitches, Mike, that is an approach that has worked against the Orioles on the year. This is without a doubt a fastball hitting team, as you like to say, dead red. And if he can get ahead as he falls behind 3-0 and utilize those off-speed pitches, that could be a problem for the Orioles.
Well, it really could. I mean, he is a pitcher's type pitcher. Has command of all of his pitches, can change speeds throughout the count. Even in this type of count, he can change speed. See that good movement down in the zone. That's why he gets so many ground balls. A ground ball rate up around 65% every year he pitches. Right now, being careful with Manny. He saw the who's hot and who's not.
And there's a leadoff walk. So the off-speed pitch, be aware if you're Oriole hitters in this game. Keuchel dominates with the off-speed stuff.
Yeah, and here you go. Lowest opponent batting average versus off-speed. And Alex Keuchel, 110 batting average on his off-speed pitches. Liriano, another great lefty, 132. Sonny Gray, Valquez, and Hamels on that list with their off-speed pitches. You know, and I think really Keuchel, that's what separates him. He can put that changeup down in the zone to righties. It looks a lot like his fastball. He gets weak contact. He pitches to weak contact. Orioles have to try to get him elevated in the zone and put a good part of the bat on it. Try to hit those gaps. You know, he's only given up 9 extra base hits this year. Wow. So very stingy with the long ball and gappers.
Falls behind Paredes 1-0. And it's outside corner called strike. Keuchel may have coaxed that one out of Bruce Dreckman. After the first pitch to Paredes, he stared in at Dreckman as if to say, where was that pitch? Maybe he gave one back.
There you go. Both pitches away, and if he starts getting the corner, he will expand. That's what he does. He nibbles the edges. He wants hitters to chase his pitches.
Keuchel, a 7th-round pick of the Astros in 2009. He pitched in college at Arkansas. And a chopper back to the mound, just as Mike described. The second one back to first, and not in time. So Paredes does leg it out, and there's that weak swing on a pitch, and they get the lead runner one away.
Let's take a look at the Astros defense. This has been a big key to their success as well. Real nice defensive outfield, can really run them down. Tucker, Marisnik, and Springer. And Villar and Altuve up the middle have been playing solid. Valbuena at third, and Carter over at first, and Conger behind the plate.
Here's Adam Jones at .321 on the year. That is 10th best in the league, and he is tied for 7th in base hits with 52. Bit of a home run drought for Adam. His last home run was on May the 11th, so 47 at-bats without a long ball. Hoping to cure that on this homestand. Weak swing, and it's 0-1.
Pretty impressive movement, almost Zach Britton-like, not quite as firm. Take a look at Adam Jones' home games, 356, the road 292, which is very good, but he'd like to get that bat heated up again here at Camden Yards.
Lays off the fastball, 1-1. Keuchel is first in the American League with his ERA at 1.67. He is second in wins, trailing Felix Hernandez by 1. King Felix has 7. Line drive caught by Carter at first, and that'll be a double play. What a break for the Astros. That one was heading to the corner, and instead it's an inning-ending double play. A leadoff walk and none left as Carter plucks one away from Adam Jones. USAA. For those who gave everything that we may breathe free, we honor you. By DynCorp International, we serve today for a better tomorrow. And by Navy Federal Credit Union, proudly serving the armed forces and their families for over 80 years. We air today's game on MASN in recognition of Memorial Day. We'd like to thank all past and current members of the United States military for their work and dedication in protecting our country. And a nice crowd for this Memorial Day game on a beautiful day for baseball. Preston Tucker will lead off against Chen, and he'll take it high 1-0. Matt Wieters returned home with the team. He joined the team in Miami. Bud Norris there with him. Both those players are heading to Bowie this week. Now, how about tomorrow? Wieters will go and play in a rehab game at Bowie. It'll be his first rehab game. And pitching for the Bay Sox tomorrow is Dylan Bundy. That worked out nicely.
Heck yeah, that's great.
And Bud will be at Bowie on Wednesday to pitch.
Well, I think it's great. Well, it stinks for obviously Matt Wieters and Bud Norris having to, get injured and then start a rehab assignment. But what a great opportunity for those pitchers in AA and potentially AAA. A lot of great arms there. We've seen a few of them already called up this season. And what a help, what an asset that will be to have Matt Wieters there.
There's one of the arms right there, Mike Wright. Swing and a miss, 2-2 on Preston Tucker. Tucker's a rookie. He made his major league debut on May 7th, and the lefty facing Wei-Yin Chen out of the University of Florida. Bouncer towards the middle. Hardy ranging far to his left, but will have no play. The grass slowed it down, so an infield hit for Preston Tucker, leading off here in the second inning. Celebrate summer at Oriole Park by picking up the new Birdland Summer 6-pack. Choose any 6 remaining games for the rest of the season and enjoy savings of up to 20% off of the cost of single game tickets. You can build the perfect plan for you. Great rivalry games, maybe popular promotions, fireworks nights, and more, whatever you prefer. For all the details, Orioles.com/6-pack or 888-848-BIRD. Astros get the leadoff man on in each of the first 2 innings. Here's Jonathan Villar, the shortstop. He'll take high 1-0. Villar, a switch hitter at 246.
Wei-Yin Chen, pretty good first inning after working himself out of the jam, but still working on the command on the secondary pitches right now. Left a couple breaking balls up in the zone. Not consistently keeping that spin ball down where he needs to. Right here would be a good time to potentially roll a double play over.
Well, Chen has always pitched well against the AL West. He is 13-5 in his career, and he has never lost to the Astros. 3 starts, he has 3 wins. 1-1 on VR. Slap foul, look out. Now 1-2 the count on Jonathan VR. And we were talking earlier about how the Astros built this team. VR is an example of when they began to build from the bottom up. He came over from the Phillies as a minor league player. He was an A-ball at Lakewood. That's in the South Atlantic League. That was in 2010 when Roy Oswalt was traded from the Astros to the Phillies. It was a 3-for-1 deal, and VR was one of the 3. The Astros also got Anthony Gose, who's now on the Tigers, and Jay Happ, who's now on the Mariners, with a 3-for-1 deal. And very much like what the Orioles did when they began to rebuild from within. It all started with the Bedard trade to Seattle. So VR was an A-ball. No one had ever heard of him except the Astro scouts.
Yeah, right.
2-2 on VR with Tucker at first. And a foul back to stay alive.
Well, the Astros have done a nice job really rebuilding their system up. A lot of losing seasons. Able to land some top prospects, with their first-round picks. And I think they had a pretty good foundation with some players that have been through. Altuve at second base, great team leader, a spark plug on this team. Kind of holds everybody together. And then with the young talent they had, they felt like that they could really go out and test the free agent market a little bit, find players that would fit. They made some good moves in this last offseason, but it's been a process over the past 4 or 5 years to get those type of players into the organization. They're strong once again. Their AAA level has a lot of major league quality type hitters. They're swinging the bat very well, so they have depth now in their organization, along with some great young talent.
So 3-2. Tucker doesn't run, and it's hit towards left field, and it's into left field for a base hit. So just as the Astros did in the first, they get back-to-back hits here to begin the second.
And trying to find a way, once again, Wei and Chen getting ahead, but another 2-strike hit here. They are able to stay on top of the fastball and find a hole.
Well, the Astros are 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position so far in the game. Here's Hank Conger, the catcher, switch hitter, batting right. Shows bunt, does bunt, right back to Chen. He goes to third for the force. Back to first, double play. Oh, can Chen field his position? A 1-5-3 double play, and 2 men are down.
A beautiful play by Wei and Chen. He's only made 2 errors since he's been a Baltimore Oriole. One in his first year. He made one earlier this year, but here handles it very well. Gets his feet underneath him. Nice throw to Manny, and when you get the ball in Manny's hands, it is a cannon coming across the field. Pretty easy double play in this bunt situation. Nice job. Quick 2 outs.
Well, that changes the inning. VR is at second, but 2 men down. There's Jake Marisnick, the center fielder. And a foul ball.
Pretty good slider right there from Wei and Chen. You're seeing that these guys are aggressive early. First pitch swinging. Mix in a little breaking ball. Nice job with the slider down in the zone to get ahead.
Marisnick, a young player and already in his 3rd organization. He was drafted by the Blue Jays in 2009. He was traded to Miami in that huge trade a couple of years ago to the Marlins, and then the Marlins sent him over to the Astros last July. That was part of a 7-player deal. Nice to be wanted.
Right.
Ball and a strike on him. Fastball too tight, 2-1.
There you go. Caleb Joseph doubling up in there. He wanted that first pitch to be a fastball in. Wayne opened up a little too quickly. Let that ball sail up and away. So Caleb says, hey, we got to make sure we have this pitch. Double up in there. Make sure you get it in. And sure enough, he did.
On the corner for a strike. Marisnick disagrees.
A good fastball, and really that's how Wei and Chen and Caleb work so well. They establish inside. They might brush a guy off inside. Opens up the outside corner. Do a lot more things when you're able to throw strikes and even purposeful balls in off the plate.
Foul back. He stays alive at 2-2. Wei and Chen has been a model of consistency as an Oriole now in his 4th season. He has 36 career wins, 18 at home, 18 on the road. Doesn't seem to matter what mound he's on, he gives your team a chance to win. 2-2 on Marisnick. Strike 3 called. He paints the inside corner. And Marisnick barks as he goes away. We get to the bottom of the second, no score.
This is Zach Britton with the Baltimore Orioles. Thank you to all the past and current members of our armed forces for protecting and defending our country.
for being selected and will win $500 more for every Orioles home run hit today. Play Baseball Bucks scratch-offs and win up to $50,000 or enter non-winning tickets for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Visit mdlottery.com/baseball. Delman Young will lead off. Keuchel deals, and there's a strike. Steve Pearce, J.J. Hardy will follow. Delman 5 for 19 over his last 6 games. And a line drive to right. There's a base hit. Orioles' first hit and a good approach as Delman goes to right field for a leadoff single. Here's our Maryland Live Casino Inside the Numbers and a closer look home versus road.
Yeah, we talked about the Orioles at home, 5.53 runs per game. That's second in all of Major League Baseball. The Astros on the road, though, 5.45 runs per game, first in Major League Baseball. So this should be a high-scoring affair, don't you think, Jim?
I believe so.
Well,
but again, if the ball's kept in the ballpark, it could alter that scoring potential. Right. And there's a strike on the corner. Pierce doesn't like the call. So it appears early on here that Bruce Dreckman is a pitcher's umpire based on the looks by both sides and the hitters on called strikes. Keuchel averages 6.4 strikeouts per game, and Pierce skies it to shallow left. Actually, the ball carries. It's still carrying. And on the warning track, hauling it in is Tucker. The breeze is blowing towards right center field, and somehow up in that wind gust, that ball carried to the warning track.
Well, I think outfielders and infielders pay attention to this because, yeah, he was camped under it. Another 30 feet behind him is where he ended up making this play. So the ball is getting pushed out, especially the left field here. Able to come down with it. Steve Pearce just missing a home run there.
J.J. Hardy takes ball one. J.J. got a day off yesterday in Miami. He was the only bench player who did not get in the game. There's Delman Young on at first with one down. 1-1 the count. J.J. 1 for 9 on the trip. And he is just 4 for his last 27. So the day off yesterday, day game after night game, good idea by the skipper.
Sure. And you saw the numbers there in J.J.'s career. Very impressive. 300 against this Houston Astros team. Of course, J.J. a lot of time spent facing the Astros when he was with Milwaukee Brewers. So a lot of times players have that confidence. No matter what you're hitting going into a series, you feel good about seeing a team in an Astros uniform. J.J. looking to have a big series here for the O's.
Keuchel ahead of him 1-2. And he got him. So another off-speed pitch and an Oriole down on strikes. First one for Keuchel and 2 away.
Yeah, pretty sharp slider here, almost a slurvy type look, and it just gets buried down and in. First good breaking ball we've seen from Keuchel, sticking with that fastball primarily, and here that late finish, it's JJ right over the top.
So Keuchel going to work now on Caleb Joseph, and it's down and away. Mike mentioned that Keuchel has allowed just 1 home run on the year, which is amazing. This is his 10th start. The only hitter to take Keuchel deep, Mike Trout of the Angels, and it was a solo home run on May the 9th. The one ball that left the park, Pierce gave it a ride, came up short. Although Pierce's ball appeared to be wind-aided.
Yeah, that one blown out there a little bit. Keuchel does a nice job keeping the ball down in the zone. We've seen the movement he has on his fastball. He can sink it. He can cut it.
Deep left field. This ball's got a chance. Back it goes, and it's gone! It just got out in the first row. There's a 2-run home run for Joseph, and the Orioles have a 2-0 lead.
Well, definitely the medicine the Orioles needed. An early lead here, and Caleb Joseph puts an A swing on one of the very few pitches you'll see up in the zone.
And our Maryland Lottery contestant of the game, Aaron Bowens, has just won another $500 as Caleb Joseph hits his 4th on the year. What a big hit with 2 men down.
Well, it really was. And you know the game plan for this Orioles offense going in against Keuchel is get him elevated. You cannot help him out on the corners of the plate, just too much movement, and Caleb took advantage of the elevated fastball.
So Caleb joins Mike Trout as the only two to homer off Keuchel.
Yeah, take a look right here. Pretty much center cut, belt high. Caleb a line drive in the first row, and the fan wants the ball back after she
dropped it.
Right in the hands. Tough place there.
Well, she didn't have a glove.
Right.
I mean, she's no Mike Bordick out there with her.
I wouldn't be crazy enough to try to catch a ball out there with my bare hands. You've seen me duck up here.
Yes, I have. Cabrera playing at second base today, gets ahead 2-0. Shows bunt, takes it outside, ball 3.
I like it. Really have to make him work.
So how much time do you think Keuchel has to spend to keep that beard so well manicured as he does?
I don't know. It's pretty impressive, though. I mean, that's a healthy beard. Good length.
Strike on the corner, 3-1.
Maybe a little bit of a distraction to the pitchers or hitters. Didn't help Caleb Joseph at all, though, did it?
Well, Caleb said, "I'll show you."
I mean, it helped Caleb. Didn't help him.
Bouncer past the mound towards the middle. There's Altuve, throws off balance, and he got him. Jose Altuve with a nice play up the middle. Takes a base hit away from Everett Cabrera. But the Orioles get the lead. Caleb Joseph hits his 4th home run, a 2-run shot. And the Orioles have the lead heading to the 3rd. Now at Southwest.com and by PNC for the Achiever in you. Oriole Park at Camden Yards on this holiday Monday. Happy Memorial Day, everybody. And we hope as you have fun, you take some time to think of those who gave the ultimate sacrifice so we can live in the freedom we do. Chen now with a 2-0 lead. Here's Springer. Lineup turns over. A little bit low as he comes in off speed. Springer on the first pitch of the game singled in the right field. Played his college ball at UConn, native of Connecticut. This ball's hit well to left center field. Long run for Diaz. That one's going to carry out into the second bullpen, and it bounces up onto the Legends Park concourse. What a shot by George Springer, his 7th of the year, and it's a 2-1 game.
Strong kid out of University of Connecticut. Called up last season, really made an impact on this team. Brought a lot of energy, and this year, power and speed. He backlegs a changeup from Wei-Yin Chen that stays right in the middle of the plate. And look at that nice extension there, and that's way up in the Astros bullpen. Up and over on the bounce.
Bounces up near the Jim Palmer statue. Here's Altuve, shows bunt, and takes a strike. Yeah, they can celebrate. They live by the home run. That's the 65th to lead the league. Comebacker to Chen. Ooh, he played a tough hop there. And he gets Altuve for the out. And one away here in the third. Let's get a look at our Jeep inside the numbers and run support at home this season.
Yeah, well, Bud Norris,
he loves it.
A lot of support, right? 9.20, and Ubaldo's getting support. Gonzalez, even Tillman, but look at Wei-Yin Chen, and that's a big reason why he's only has the one win on the season. 2.25 runs here at home. Well, the Orioles a good start to this ball game, and they're throwing 2 on the board in the second inning. Hopefully, get a little bit more and raise that run support average for Chen.
Valbuena pops it up. Manny now in foul ground has it for the out and 2 down. Yeah, Chen with just 1 win, and it came on the road. His only win was in Yankee Stadium on May the 9th. So despite a very credible ERA at home, 3.21, 0-2, because they don't score for him. Or score enough for him.
That's right. We see Springer's hit speed off the bat, 101 miles an hour. Really supplying a lot of that power on the changeup from Chen.
But the good thing for Chen, it was a solo.
That's right.
Orioles came with a man on, so a 2-1 game. Here's Gaddis. Gaddis came up as a catcher, and the Braves did try him in left field. But the Astros got him for his bat, and on their roster he is listed as a DH, not even as a position player. Must have been low. It caught the plate. 2-0. Chen has done a real good job keeping runners off base, averaging 10.3 per 9 innings. Anytime you're close to single digits in that as a starter, you're doing well. There's a line drive base hit. Delman Young tries to cut it off, and he can't. Rolls all the way to the wall, and Gaddis is going to cruise to second with a 2-out double. Astros are doing a real good job, Mike, going with the pitch.
Well, they are using the whole field. We've seen some hits the other way. Gaddis picking up his 6th double of the season, and he got on that one. This is a line drive up over Cabrera's head. Fastball elevated up and out over. It's just the strength of Gaddis. This ball beats Young and Jones in the gap, makes it to the wall, and he walks into second base.
So here is Chris Carter, who flied out to right his first at bat. Batting average at 169. Upstairs 1-0. 62 strikeouts. He is tied for second most. Chris Davis also has 62. Steven Souza of the Rays leads in the most Ks. Good looking curveball for a strike.
You really have to mix it up on this team. The power hitters probably typically looking for the fastball, to change speeds and locations throughout a ball game, try to keep them off balance. And Carter, no exception. He obviously has holes every year. He has a high amount of strikeouts, but it's just inches that sometimes separate a strikeout from a home run. So you have to execute your pitches, and if you're going to default out of the zone, because they will chase.
But Carter, in the last 2 seasons with the Astros, hit 66 home runs, had 228 hits, and struck out 394 times. Chen's ahead of him 1-2. Ground ball towards the middle, but right there is Cabrera, and he'll get it to first, and Chen gets out of it without any further damage. A run on 2 hits, man left mid-third at Camden Yards on Memorial Day. 2-1 O's. And Memorial Day of 2015, Orioles at home. 2-1 lead on the 2-run home run by Caleb Joseph. Alejandro Diaza against Dallas Keuchel, then Machado and Paredes. Shift is on against Diaza. He'll take a strike. Alejandro 1 for 6 on the trip, and he's just 1 for his last 10. Pulls it foul, 0-2.
Well, maybe facing the tough lefty, he'll keep that front shoulder in. It's a great opportunity here. Bottom of the order for Diaza. They have the big shift on. Got the whole left side of the field to work with. Pull the hands inside there, and you really have to do that to protect against a pitcher like Keuchel.
And Diaza goes down on strikes, a 3-pitch strikeout and 1 away. Well, this is only the 3rd career start for Keuchel against the Orioles, so there is not a lot of head-to-head as Diaza strikes out.
Yeah, another great breaking ball, well located, exactly where Conger wanted that pitch.
But Diaza has the most hits against Keuchel, and it's only 3. He's now 3 for 6 against him. Hardy has 2, Manny has 2, and Manny's up after a leadoff walk in the first inning and a bouncer towards the hole. Deep short off the glove of Villar, and Manny's going to reach. Well, that's where the hustle of Machado got in the head of Villar. He knew he had to hurry and maybe rushed it a bit too much, and Manny reaches.
Now, one of the tougher plays for a shortstop, trying to fight to get around to the front of that ball. A lot of times you'll see shortstops backhand that play so they can keep that momentum going towards the target. You can't get fully turned. A lot of times you're going to catch it off the heel, just as he did. Kicks away that infield single for Manny.
So Manny extends his hitting streak to 8 straight games, and the Orioles get a 1-out base runner. Jimmy Paredes hit a comebacker, fielder's choice his first at bat. He fouls it back. Jimmy took it 0 for 3 yesterday. That snapped his 7-game losing streak. But overall in the 3-game series in Miami, he went 5 for 14.
Swinging it well, both sides of the plate. And it's really a matter of just seeing the ball and hitting it. He's not thinking about too much from either side. If he's getting a pitch that he thinks he can get the bat head on, he's letting it fly. Doing it with some authority.
1-1 on Jimmy. Towards the middle. There's Villar. Flip to Altuve and back to first. There's a double play, and that will end the inning. So the Astros with good glove work up the middle. Infield hit, none left. Will head to the 4th. 2-1 O's. Chris Tillman takes the mound against Scott Feldman. Our coverage on Masson begins at 6:30 with those extra presented by Southwest, and game coverage at 7 o'clock. We've got all the access you need right here on Masson.
Take a look at tomorrow's starters. Scott Feldman in the 2nd year of a 3-year deal. He signed with the Astros. 5.17 earned run average, but all around the plate, just 11 walks on the year. Chris Tillman continues that roller coaster ride of a season so far. He's looking to settle in tomorrow against the Astros in Feldman.
Here's Preston Tucker. Big curveball for a strike. Tucker in infield hit his first at bat. Hardy gloved it up the middle but had no play. And slapped foul, and it's 0-2. So the double play helping Keuchel get out of the third. And Shen going to work in the fourth. Tucker, VR, and Conger for Houston. Backs him away.
Well, once again, a nice job by Chen getting ahead here. Now 1-2. Trying to find a way to come up with that big put away pitch. Good job to brush him off the plate there to open it up the outside corner.
And he got him. Fastball right there, and he swung through it. Strikeout number 3 and 1 away in the Astros fourth.
Yeah, you get ahead of hitters, you really open it up. You can do a lot of different things. A surprise attack right there with the fastball in the outer third. Able to get Tucker.
Jonathan VR, he singled his first at bat. And a pitch down and in, 1-0. The Orioles are now 8th in the league in team pitching. Their ERA is exactly 4.00. And a strike on the outside corner, showed bunt, but didn't offer. Chen has 3 consecutive starts of at least 7 innings. But despite that, he has just the 1 win on the year. He is tied for the team lead with 4 starts of at least 7 innings. His season high is 8. Dave Wallace watched his starters turn it around and scuffle a little bit after that, although Mike Wright was brilliant the other night in Miami.
You know, I think all the Orioles can do is ask that their starters give them an opportunity.
Back-to-back Ks, 2 men down.
That fastball's been nice, riding up at the top of the zone, but once again getting ahead. It was a great slider in this at bat. And here we go, exploding up and out of the zone. It looks good. Good chase, and you just can't quite catch up to it. Nice job for Chen.
They are dejectedly back to the bench. Here's Hank Conger now. And taken low. Conger on a sacrifice attempt in the second bounced into a double play. He bunted it so hard it went right back to Chen, who started a 1-5-3 double play. Fly ball to right. This ball's hit deep. Long run for Delman Young. Still going, and it's off the wall and in play. Delman misplays the carom, but Conger will head to second and stay there with a double. That ball hit higher on the wall than I think Delman thought, but no further advancement. There's a 2-out double.
It looks like the ball's kind of carrying all over the park today. And Conger hitting it off the scoreboard. And Delman Young off the bat. It looked like he was giving chase to make the play, but it carries off the meshing. And tough right field to play. Kicks away from Delman. Easy double anyway for Conger.
So a runner in scoring position for Jake Marisnick, who was called out on strikes his first at bat. Pop foul out of play. The Astros, without a doubt, are the story in the American League early on. They have 29 wins in 45 games. Last year, they needed 64 games to win 29. Just outside 1-1.
Yeah, a lot of things that the Astros are doing this year, best in franchise history, getting off to the start that they are. Trying to ride this wave of confidence.
1-1 is fouled off Caleb Joseph, a ball and 2 strikes. Oh for 6, so Chen following the lead, as Mike Bordick told you earlier. As the situation increases and the intensity rises, Chen pitches better.
He really does. He bows his neck and comes up with the big pitch when he needs. And he was in trouble in the first 2 innings.
Defensive swing there, and he did get a piece. Marisnick is 24. He's out of Riverside, California. Drafted out of high school and now an everyday player in the big leagues. And the 1-2 is swung on and missed. Foul tip actually held by Caleb Joseph. Chen gets 3 Ks in the inning, and the Astros strand a 2-out double. Wei-Yin Chen on his game, 5 Ks through 4 innings. Memorial Day, and with that in mind, it is worth repeating. Mitch Harris, it's a good day to remember what other people are doing while we're here in a free country. You have a lot of people who are serving overseas and defending us everywhere. It's definitely a day that is special, hopefully, to everyone. And Mitch Harris, a St. Louis Cardinal relief pitcher, is a Naval Academy graduate, Navy lieutenant, and he is a friend of Oliver Drake of the Orioles. Of course, Oliver went to the Naval Academy for a couple of years and now in the Orioles bullpen, and Mitch Harris in the Cardinals bullpen. And we salute all of our veterans. There's Adam Jones to lead off for the Birds in the 4th. Bouncer towards the middle. There's VR. And on the first pitch, Jones retired and 1 away. Now, the Orioles are proud to join Major League Baseball in honoring our armed forces on this Memorial Day. They are wearing special jerseys and caps featuring the camo pattern. You can show your support by visiting Orioles.com/auction and place a bid on one of these unique items. After today's game, every jersey and hat will be autographed by the player or coach wearing it. It'll be authenticated, then made available for the auction. The proceeds will benefit the Fort Meade Alliance Foundation. Now, to place your bids and learn more, Orioles.com/auction. They are good-looking shirts and hats.
Well, they really are, and I think a great tribute, obviously, from the Orioles to be wearing those uniforms and all of Major League Baseball. But as you've said multiple times already today, it's just it's a treat to be able to watch Major League Baseball, but even more so for the freedom what our soldiers and everybody in the armed forces have done. I think so many players have ties one way or another with the armed forces, so a good day to reflect and play for them.
Backhanded by Valbuena. High throw, but he got him and 2 away. So 2 quick outs and yet another ground ball by Keuchel. Here's our PNC minor league report, and somebody is making his presence known at AAA.
Well, he sure is. Even in spring training, I think everybody was aware that Nola was going to be back, finally healthy this year, starting the season in AAA. And you see it on the year, 278, a couple homers, 9 RBIs, but he has been red hot. Last 6 games, 11 for 22, 4 multi-hit games in that stretch. And Jim, you and I were talking. The Orioles probably looking for another right-handed bat in this Orioles outfield, and it's nice to see that his bat is heating up, and he's played well down there, and health is on his side now. It's another one of those signs of depth the Orioles have. Certainly a player that's, it won't be a surprise if he's here in the major leagues. He's been here before.
Dallas Keuchel, 1-1 on Steve Pearce. Well, the thing about Nolan, it's just a bit of a dilemma, but because he was signed to a minor league contract, he's not on the major league roster, and he's out of options. So if the Orioles do bring him to the big leagues and then want to make a move, they wouldn't be able to send him down, and there's a fear that he be claimed on waivers because, as you just pointed out, he's proven he's healthy. So if he's going to come up, it's going to be to stay. Nearly hit Pierce, 2-2. But that's a good problem to have, where you have options just in case, and the Orioles certainly have had to use the just in case options this year with all the injuries they've had. Here's flied out deep to left field as the wind got it in the second inning. 2-2, a swung on and missed.
Boy, he's really finishing off that breaking ball. He's come up with some big ones.
Astros don't know there's 3 outs. Conger was throwing the ball around. We'll head to the 5th. 2-1 O's. Memorial Day afternoon baseball at Camden Yards, and welcome into our broadcast booth. Jim Hunter and Mike Bordick, Bordy the chef of the future, as we have on our aprons that were given out today to the fans in honor of Memorial Day. You got to have an apron. You have your barbecue at home after the game, and this way you won't get dirty.
That's right.
The burger juice, you take a bite of the hamburger.
That's right.
So you got the big plans today?
Well, I'll definitely be barbecuing if they let me take this home.
Well, all the fans getting the apron here today in honor of Memorial Day. A nice giveaway and a gesture by the Orioles. I'm going to cook up some burgers later.
Sounds good.
You want to come over?
Well, can I bring my whole family?
Your whole,
you got enough burgers?
Wait, your whole family? Bonnie's going to have to run back to the store.
Right.
What are you up to? About 12 kids?
No, come on.
Springer swings through it. He homered his last at-bat for the Astros run. Shen at 64 pitches. He's got 5 strikeouts for the first 4 innings. And he's ahead of Springer 0-2. Line to left field. Diaza won't be able to grab it. That's in for a base hit. So an 0-2 pitch and a base hit to lead off the inning for Springer. Thanks for spending your Memorial Day with us, Orioles fans. And for complete coverage of today's game and more, follow @MassinOrioles on Twitter and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/MassinOrioles. Get in on the action by getting social with Massin. Chen has not had a 3-up, 3-down inning, but he's only allowed the 1 run on the home run by George Springer. Here's Altuve. Springer will run. He's got 11 steals on the year. He's been caught just once. This is a good matchup because Chen, one of the best at holding runners, and the Astros tied for most steals in the American League.
They can get in your head, though. You start worrying about their speed, and that's when mistakes come, and this offense takes advantage of the mistakes. We talked about their home run power already today. The long ball by Springer.
One 1-0 on Altuve, 1 out of 2 with a first inning single. His 54th hit of the year. And then a changeup on the outside corner. Of the 20 batters that Chen has faced, he has gone strike 1 to 11 of the 20.
Oh, he's done a great job getting ahead. And he can come up with some big finish pitches with the 5 punch-outs already today.
Outfield straightaway and Jones shallow as Pierce holds the bag. Oh, former Oriole Rich Dower is back in town. There's Richie, the Astros first base coach. Astros put out a picture of Rich before the game on Twitter, signing a fan's autograph or putting an autograph on a baseball card of a fan. He brought his Rich Dower baseball cards. And could they have a Oriole Hall of Famer back in the ballpark as Altuve singles in the left field. So Hardy was shading up the middle, and Altuve hit it the other way. So for the 3rd time in 5 innings, the Astros put the first 2 men on back-to-back singles, and for the 2nd time in the game, it's Springer and Altuve getting it done.
Yeah, you want to try to keep that speed off the bases, and they've been on 5 out of 6 times already today.
9 hits already against Chen. So here is Valbuena, who was 0 for 2. A little bit low, 1-0. Now Chen has held lefties to a 179 average. The lefties in this game already have 3 base hits. Right back to Chen. He knocks it down, goes to third, in time for the force, back to first, and not in time. Chen, by knocking it down, cost himself a chance, but he still made an outstanding play to get the lead runner.
Oh, he really did. Wei-Yin Chen's glove showing up, helping himself. This is a bullet back through the middle, knocks it down. Great awareness, able to get the lead out at third. Look at Manny firing it back across the field, and Steve Pierce keeping the ball in the infield. That is a huge play. Wei-Yin Chen loving it, pointing, giving him some props over there. Get behind the baseball. Nice job by Pierce.
Altuve to second. Valbuena now on at first. Here's Evan Gattis, who doubled his last at bat. Breaking ball for a strike. Gattis is 28 years old. He'll turn 29 in August, and he's back home in his home state. He grew up in Dallas. 3rd season in the bigs. Looks like Minute Maid Park is a perfect ballpark for his type of stroke. He hit 22 home runs for Atlanta last year, 21 the year before. Chen has done a good job minimizing the damage in this game with all these base runners. Just inside, 2-1 on Gattis.
Yeah, it certainly hasn't been an easy road here for Wei-Yin Chen pitching into the 5th. A lot of pressure just about every inning on Chen. He's been able to come up with the big pitch. I'd love to get a ground ball here.
Slowed down his pace a bit with the runners on. And the 2-1 to Gaddis. Foul back. Reach for it. Couldn't barrel it up. 2-2.
Good changeup. Nice job with the fastball on the outside corner and back it up. That location with a changeup. Pretty good movement. See that pitch on the outside corner. Trying to protect there. We've talked about the plate being a little bit bigger today, it seems. Pretty comfortable strike zone. So both pitchers trying to work the edges, and you have to expand if you want to keep at bats alive.
2-2 on Gaddis. 2 on and 1 out. And it's low. Gets away from Caleb. Altuve thought about it, but he stays put at second base.
Good job by Caleb, not only to block the ball, but to get to his feet and recover. Keep the ball close enough to shut Altuve down at second base. Real good base runner. He lives for opportunities like this to advance on balls in the dirt. But you see Caleb getting himself in a good position. And as soon as that knee hit, he bounced back up to his feet to keep Altuve out there at second.
And a big pitch coming here. 3-2 with 2 men on. Chen stepped off, so Gaddis out of the box. And the 3-2 has popped up back this way.
Good pitch right there, working back inside. He's forcing Gaddis to expand that plate. So the plate's gotten to about 20 inches now. The 3-2 count. He's still trying to protect.
Another 3-2 pitch to Gaddis. Poked foul and protected the outside corner. Chen coming off a loss in his last start. It was last Wednesday against Seattle. 4 runs in 7 innings. A 2-run home run by Ruggiano hurt in that loss. Altuve and Valbuena second and first with 1 down. And the 3-2 again to Gaddis. Swung on and missed. He got him. So after back-to-back fouls, Chen comes back to get Gaddis for the second out.
Pretty impressive battle by both Chen and Gaddis here. Chen going in and out, changing speeds throughout the whole at bat. This way with the high changeup. Let's Gaddis out in front a little bit. Another strikeout.
So number 6 for Chen. 2 down now. The runners have to hold. Chris Carter now outside.
The Astros having some problems with runners in scoring position. At 0 for 9.
Chen with 6 Ks. Twice on the year he's had 7 strikeouts. And just 1 away from a season high, and we're just in the 5th. And Chen, a pitcher who can get the strikeout, facing the team that has struck out more than any other team in baseball. 1-1 on Carter, 0 for 2. Breaking ball pulled foul. Couldn't wait.
Well, it's one thing to understand that it's a strikeout team. It's another thing you have to execute. They go over the scouting reports. They see where the holes are for this lineup. And they try to execute the pitches and expose those holes. And Chen's done a nice job expanding the zone. He's mixing his pitches. And he's working in and out now, really settling into this ball game.
The 1-2 is fouled off and just got a piece. Another breaking ball. Chen goes over and picks up the foul ball. Very polite.
Oh, yeah.
Saving Caleb a couple of extra steps. Caleb's back there behind the plate on a hot day. There's a nice crowd at the ballpark. 2 on, 2 out, and 1-2 on Carter. Doesn't chase. 2-2.
A little extra behind that one. 94 miles an hour. Best fastball velocity wise of the day. You could see him open up, muscle up there. He's losing that pitch, fifth pitch. See by the pitch track, up and away.
Now 2-2 on Carter. Check the swing. Now for a free swinger, that was a real good take.
Well, it was a good take on a great pitch. I mean, that's where you want to put it. The hard slider down and in. Well, he just fooled him enough to where he couldn't swing.
A big pitch here. The runners will be off. 3-2 with 2 men down. Altuve from second, Valbuena from first. And the 3-2 is swung on and lifted shallow right. That ball is trouble, and it's going to fall in for a base hit. Altuve will score, being sent as Valbuena. Here's the throw home. It is up the line, and the Astros get the lead. What a tough break for Chen. A bloop in the shallow right near the line. Delman was playing over towards the gap. And the Astros have a 3-2 lead in the 5th.
Oh, good breaking ball. 3-2 count, and he throws the breaking ball. And Carter able to find a way to get the bat on the pitch, find some grass in the outfield. Of course, the outfield's kind of pulled over a little bit, so a lot of room down that right field line. An aggressive send there. Runners at first and second both end up scoring on that flare.
Valbuena expected to be held. He was pulling up at third, and then Gary Pettis sent him. A good throw may have had him, but Delman's throw was up the line. So the Astros have come back. They were down 2-0 in the second. Now the 3-2 lead. So the Astros finally get a big hit with a runner in scoring position. It's their 3rd hit in the inning. Preston Tucker now infield hitting a strikeout. 10 hits now for Houston. Check swing and appeal to third. He did not go. The Astros have won 4 of their last 6 and 9 of their last 12. And you could see the confidence they're playing with their early season success. A.J. Hinch has them playing great baseball. They have a 6.5 game lead. 6 in the loss column in the AL West. And a base hit to left field. Hardy was up the middle and he just slapped it to left. Good back control there. The 11th base hit now allowed by Wei-Yin Chen. Pretty impressive hitting by the Astros in this game. They're just going with it.
Yeah, we've seen a few off-speed pitches taken the other way, so they're being fooled. The mistakes with a couple off-speed pitches have been up in the zone, giving them a better opportunity to find those holes. And Tucker, a nice job. He gets the front foot down, kept the hands back, and shot it the other way. As you see Brad Brock warming up in the Orioles bullpen.
7th batter to come up here in the 5th. Jonathan VR, and he'll foul it back. It's been a tough go for Chen. He's allowed hits in every inning. And now trails 3-2. VR, one of those hits, single to left field in the second. Chen came in averaging just 7 base hits per 9 innings, and he's given up 11 hits here in 4 2/3 against the team with the lowest batting average in the American League. Carter at second, Tucker at first with 2 down as Dave Wallace looks on. Skied to center. Adam Jones will have a play. And he's got it, but the Astros get the lead. We head to the bottom of the fifth, 3-2 Houston.
Hi, this is Ryan LeBarnwood.
It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. 3-2 game as we go to the fifth. Orioles come to bat now down by a run. Orioles trailing for the first time in this game. Hardy, Joseph, and Cabrera for the Orioles against Dallas Keuchel. And a strike on the corner. Keuchel's been zeroing in on that. JJ struck out his first at bat. Keuchel has 5 ground ball outs in this game. He is the leading ground ball pitcher in all of Major League Baseball. And a foul tip held by the catcher Conger. 1-2 on JJ.
Well, he's pretty impressive with his fastball command, the ability to move the ball around when he wants to here. Just throwing darts down and away to JJ, and it looked like every fastball moved differently.
Good take, 2-2.
So work down and away, and then the hard cutter inside. No options here, being this far ahead.
Hardy fouls it off his foot to stay alive. Now 2-2 on JJ, leading off in the fifth. And a tapper out in front of the plate. Conger will get it to first easily for the out, and 1 away.
Fans, your attention, please. We ask that you please rise and that gentlemen remove your hats. Major League Baseball and the Orioles are proud to observe the national moment of remembrance and nationwide act of unity to honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to the United States. Please join us now in a reflective moment of silence. Thank you.
Well, in 2000, President Clinton passed the resolution asking Americans to observe the national moment of remembrance at exactly 3 p.m. on each Memorial Day to remember and reflect on the sacrifices made by so many to provide freedom for all. I'm certainly proud to be part of that. Strike one on Caleb Joseph, who homered his first at bat, driving in both Oriole runs. Caleb was 3 for 8 on the trip. Now has 4 home runs and 18 ribbies. And a strike on the corner, 1-2. Orioles at 19 and 22. They are 3 below 500, but just 1 down in the loss column to first place Tampa Bay. The entire AL East, top to bottom, is separated by 4.5 games.
That's a good thing. Good thing. I know a lot of Orioles fans wishing that they were a little more consistent here the first couple months of the season, but the fact of the matter is they're that close in the division. And try to remember what happened last season. They were 6 games out going into July and ended up walking away with the American League East. So here Buck Showalter talking all the time of track record. Well, this team has a track record, so they will be there. There you go. Last year's Eastern Division champs walking away.
And the 3-2 to Joseph is lined to right field, playing shallow with Springer, and he's got it for the out. 2 men down. Fans, the Birds and the Astros continue this 3-game series tomorrow, a night game at 7:05. And that is the next Ollie's Bargain Night, presented by Ollie's Bargain Outlet. Every Tuesday home game, all the upper reserve seats are just $10 when you purchase in advance. Then on Wednesday, the O's and Astros wrap up this 3-game series, a special 4:35 afternoon showdown. So for tickets, Orioles.com or call 888-848-BIRD. Keuchel's retired 6 in a row. Here's Cabrera. He bunts first base side, but right at Chris Carter, who will tag him out. And there go the Orioles, 3 up, 3 down in the 5th. We'll head to the 6th. 3-2 Houston.
It's Memorial Day, so some pregame festivities going on, honoring all the armed forces and the sacrifices they've made. But Wei Yin Chen helping his own cause here with the 1-5-3 double play. Gold glove type fielder, but Caleb Joseph getting the O's on the board with a 2-run shot. A rare elevated fastball from Keuchel. Chen flipping in the curveball. Chris Carter able to get some wood on it, find some grass, and the team later Altuve loving that as they break through. Wei Yin Chen now out of the ball game. 5 innings, 11 hits from this Astros offense. He gave up 3 earned runs, no walks, 6 punch-outs, and 91 pitches thrown from Wei Yin Chen. He gives way to Brad Brock out of the Orioles bullpen. Take a look at his pitch arsenal this season. 64% fastballs, power fastball with a crossbody delivery. The hard slider 11% of the time, and the changeup 25% of the time. Take a look at his numbers on the season. 1-0 with 3.92 earned run average. 27 punch outs in his 8 base on balls. Opponents hitting just 237. Remember, folks, Geico 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
Rock to face Hank Conger. Switch hitter bats left, right in there for a strike. Conger has doubled off the scoreboard and right. He also bunted into a double play on a sacrifice attempt. Slaps a foul the other way. Brock worked on Friday night in Miami, the game won by the Orioles. He allowed 1 run in an inning and 2/3 on 3 hits. The run was a home run by Justin Bauer. Hit it the other way. Marisnick on deck, then Springer. Lifted to left, Diaza towards the line. A long run for Alejandro. And he's there for the out. And 1 away in the Houston 6th inning. First pitch for game 1 of the special single admission doubleheader coming up against the White Sox on Thursday has been moved up to 1:05. Now, tickets for the originally scheduled game of April 27th will be valid for the traditional twin bill. Now, additional tickets are available. So if you want to come out and see 2 games for the price of 1, get online, Orioles.com, or call 888-848-BIRD. Jake Marisnick, number 9 batter, bunt attempt. And they appeal to see if he offered, and first base umpire Alfonso Marquez says no.
Well, Marisnick really got that bat head out there, but I don't think he offered at the ball. Some chirpings for some fans, maybe the Orioles dugout wanting that lead strike.
So he comes off speed, he gets to the swing and miss.
Yeah, there you go, nasty slider. Take that. Beautiful pitch from Brock. Tough to pick up. We talk about his crossbody delivery and that arm coming out of the left side of the infield. Very tough to pick up the spin on that slider.
And a strike taken. The run allowed by Brock in Miami, the only run he's allowed in his last 4 appearances. He's ahead 1-2 on Marisnick. Strike 3 call, paints the outside corner.
Great fastball from Brad Brock. So tough to pick up. Holds great velocity, 96 miles an hour after getting 95 inside. Locks him up with 95 on the outside corner.
So 2 quick outs. Brock out away from retiring the Astros in order. They have not gone down in order yet. Springer with a full swing.
Yeah, Springer, pretty good day. His first at bat, picked up a single to right field right off the end of the bat, so 73 miles an hour off the bat. Then the homer, 101, and that single in his third at bat, 99 miles an hour off the lumber. So when he squares it up, it comes off hot. Get more hits, but finding some grass on his first base hit.
And that single at 99 miles an hour was on an 0-2 pitch. You know, it's an interesting contrast, the game today from the game of yesterday. Players nowadays don't seem to mind that they strike out. So you're 0-2, you swing and miss, so what? But you put a good swing on it, a nice line drive to left field. So it's a different attitude about going to the plate. Strike 3 call. What a job by Brad Brock. 3 up, 3 down as the Astros go in order for the first time in the 6th. Birds come to bat, down by a run. by DynCorp International. We serve today for a better tomorrow. And by Navy Federal Credit Union, proudly serving the armed forces and their families for over 80 years. We air today's game on Masson in recognition of Memorial Day. We'd like to thank all the United States military personnel for serving our nation. Keuchel deals to Diaza, who fouls it off. Machado and Paredes will follow. Good day for Family Day. Let's see, you got the crisps and the young lady with the ice cream and the Oriole helmet. Dad helping out, the All-Star. And a bouncer foul, 0-2. Families love the day games.
Keuchel really showing why he's one of the best pitchers in baseball right now. Even that two-run home run by Caleb Joseph hasn't affected him. Sticking with his game plan, getting ahead, working that fastball down in the zone.
Weak ground ball towards the middle, but there's VR in the shift, and he'll get Diaza for the out. So Keuchel has now retired his 8th consecutive batter. Manny Machado, the last Oriole to reach, with a one-out infield single in the 3rd.
And you see just 61 pitches and almost 90% fastball. So getting the movement he wants, getting the ground balls that we've seen him get over the past couple years. This is his game, and he's sticking to it.
You know, Mike, Manny had the full spring training, and what are you showing this year is better patience at the plate.
Oh, much better. I think it comes with experience. I think he's seen what happens in this game, and you see the pitches that he sees. And take a look at this chart here. Percentage swing at first pitch this year at 25.4. Last year pretty high at 34. Pitches taken. So, I mean, he's just seeing the ball better. He's not too aggressive early in a count, and he's getting better pitches to drive.
Villard plays the ground ball, gets it across, 2 down. It's the 9th ground ball out, and one of those went for a double play. So he's got 10 outs on 9 ground balls. Jimmy Paredes now. He has grounded out twice, once into a fielder's choice and then into a 6-4-3 double play to end the 3rd inning. Can't reach the fastball, 0-1. Pretty hard to find something that Keuchel has not done well on the year. I mean, he's 1st in ERA, he's 2nd in wins, he's 3rd in innings pitched. He has the lowest batting average against. He's 4-0 at home. He's 2-0 on the road. He's allowed 2 runs in 1 of his starts, as Paredes fouls it back to stay alive. He's allowed 1 run in 3 starts, and he's allowed 0 runs in 3 starts. So in 7 of his 9 starts, he's allowed 2 runs or less, and in 6 of his 9, 1 run or less. Brent Strom, the pitching coach, has a pitcher who is on his game. Paredes pops it up, foul, first base side. Carter is over, will have a play, and he's got it. So the Orioles go in order for a 3rd consecutive inning. We'll head to the 7th on Memorial Day, 3-2 Astros. Fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com. Enter the promo code TRIPLEPLAY for your free entry. The World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C. And in the background, the Washington Monument on this Memorial Day 2015. As we remember all those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. Brad Brock on for his second inning of work, a 3-up, 3-down, 6th. And he'll go to work now on Altuve, Valbuena, and Gaddis. Jose Altuve, one of the big stars in the game, just 25 years old, out of Venezuela. Already his 5th season with Houston. He made his debut in July of 2011 at the age of 21. Last year, he won the batting title, 341, and he had a major league high 225 hits.
Yeah, pretty impressive stuff to go along with the speed on the bases, the great defense up the middle. Really an anchor for this team.
Skies it to right. Delman broke back, now comes in. Cabrera's there. Now Delman takes charge, and he has it for the out. Good communication there, and Delman has it for the out. On Saturday, the Orioles would take on the Rays at 4:05, a special start time. Now, all fans in attendance will receive the first of the team's player-designed T-shirts. First up is a Rock the Yard T-shirt that was designed by Zach Britton. Now, don't miss this instant collector's item, and come on out and enjoy a late afternoon game on a Saturday here at Oriole Park. Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD for your tickets. And there is the artist.
Did they have a competition or something for the players? Design a T-shirt?
You know, I don't think it was a competition. I think players were asked would they like to participate. Did they have any artistic talent?
Neat.
And those that felt they did. Of course, we haven't seen the shirt yet, so that remains to be seen.
Pretty cool, though.
Zach out there with Oliver Drake.
Well, Zach should talk to Astros pitcher Dallas Keuchel. He majored in apparel studies at Arkansas.
Okay, that's what the T-shirt's going to look like. You see the Oriole bird. Well, he didn't draw that. So he designed, he said, well, let's get a guitar going. Put the bird on there. Rock the Yard banner.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's a computer-generated T-shirt design.
There you go.
Well, maybe he did draw the bird. Maybe I'm not giving him enough credit. Because he does like rock and roll. I mean, he's a hard rock guy.
Yeah.
So that is a very appropriate T-shirt. And the 2-2 is just outside, 3-2.
Nice try right there from Brad Brock. Trying to get to the back end of this ball game. Showalter and the Orioles hoping they can come up with one hit or two big ones.
And the payoff pitch is fouled off. Well, the way Keuchel is pitching, keeping this to a one-run game is critical. And Brock has retired the first 4. Shift is on against Valbuena. High fly ball to right, a mile high. Young battling the sun. Now he sees it, and he's got it on the warning track for the out. So Valbuena gets under it, a long fly ball out and 2 down.
You see Delman pointing in. He's like, why is Cabrera out here? That's pretty good stuff. Cabrera making sure that Delman Young has it. You see the big shift on him. He knows there's a hole out there. Look at how far he's going for the ball. Just to make sure he hears Delman call the ball off. It's a good play. He goes, what are you doing there? It's helping you out, Delman.
Hey, look at this guy. Wayne Kirby liked it.
Yeah.
There's a teammate helping out a teammate. 2 down for Evan Gaddis. Wasn't looking for that. 0-1.
Yeah, that is some nasty stuff. We've talked about Brad Brock. Bit of a job he's done the past couple of years, but you don't see many major league pitchers with swing and miss stuff like Brad Brock. Tough to pick the ball up, and he has some nasty finish on all 3 of his pitches.
And it's 0-2 on the foul ball. The challenge for the Orioles bullpen in these latter 3 innings, keeping the Astros off the board. They have scored 81 runs on the year. in the 7th inning or later. That is the most in all of Major League Baseball. So they are an add-on run team. Swing and a miss. He got him. Brad Brock, 6 up, 6 down, 3 up, 3 down, 7. 7th inning stretch, 3-2 Houston. Country. Beautiful day to sightsee and visit all the monuments in Washington, D.C. and here in Baltimore as well. Great day in the harbor. Just a perfect day for baseball here at Camden Yards, and a real good game. 3-2 Astros. Orioles 2 runs came in the second on a 2-run home run by Caleb Joseph. But Dallas Keuchel has settled in. The best pitcher in the American League so far, who's not named Felix Hernandez, has retired 10 in a row. Miguel Gonzalez on the Orioles bench. He pitched yesterday.
Orioles offense just trying to find a way to solve Keuchel. Not a lot of mistakes up in the zone, getting the ground balls he wants. He's been doing a good job of getting ahead. See if the heart of the order can spark this offense here in the 7th. Incredible efficiency as well, only 68 pitches.
Dave Wallace having an in-game coaching session. As Tillman will go tomorrow. Miguel listening in, he won't pitch in this series. Oliver Drake now getting loose after 2 innings thrown by Brad Brock, 6 up and 6 down. And here's Adam Jones. Young and Pierce will follow. 3 potential long ball threats against Dallas Keuchel, who tends to keep the ball in the ballpark. A home run by Joseph, only the second that Keuchel has allowed all year. Both to right-handed batters. Adam bunts back towards the mound. It stays in the air, and there's a quick out. So Adam, trying to surprise and get on base, pops up to the pitcher Keuchel on the bunt attempt, then 1 away. That's a real good idea. He just popped it up.
Yeah, you have to love his thought process. Just a lot of times the movement Keuchel gets, he can kind of dictates the hitters what the ball is going to do. Tough to get on top of that, and Adam pops it up.
Ball 1 to Delman Young, who has singled and grounded out. Playing him to hit it the other way. There's a ton of room in left center field. You see the gap out there in left center as the center fielder Marisnick is shaded towards the right center gap, and he is very deep. There's also a lot of room down the left field line. Delman will spray it around. Takes ball 2 as the fastball bounces. Keuchel has struck out 3. He's walked 1, and the 1 walk was Manny Machado leading off in the bottom of the first. Machado, the last Oriole to reach with an infield hit in the 3rd inning. Outside, ball 3. Keuchel is out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. With a 6-0 start, he is now even in his career, 27-27. Young swings through it, 3-2. The Orioles at 19-22. They have been below 500 since May the 6th. 19 consecutive days below the 500 mark. Line drive, base hit to center field. That one whizzed by Keuchel.
Pretty sound approach right there from Delman Young. Taking it right back from where it came. Getting the bat head right to the baseball. And Keuchel, it's a chuck and duck situation here. This ball is screaming back through the middle.
Well, Delman talking it over with Chris Carter as he worked the count to 3-2. So the tying run is on. Go ahead run at the plate, and Steve Pearce, who flied out to deep left in the 2nd inning, then struck out in the 4th. Steve is trying to find it. He has 1 for his last 14 and has had a tough month of May. Fly ball center field. Marisnick's back on it. Going back. It is good! It carries out! And the Orioles have the lead. Steve Pearce with a huge home run. And the Orioles, on a couple of 2-run shots, now have a 4-3 lead. And another $500 for Aaron Bowens in our Maryland Lottery contestant of the game.
Buck Showalter making the lineup change today. Steve Pearce playing first base, giving Chris Davis the day. And Pearce, who has had some success against the Astros in the past, comes up with the big drive to right center. Some struggles this season offensively for Pearce, but huge hit right there.
Still only 1 down, and what a swing Pearce put on this.
Boy, it was. Ball on the outer third, 90 miles an hour, and that's the type of swing that gets a hitter hot. And look at this Orioles bench, loving it. Of course, Steve Pearce, a favorite amongst his teammates. They don't like to see him stressing out about the low batting average, so they're happy for him.
How unlikely, Mike, is this game? Here's Keuchel, 6-0, 1 home run allowed in 9 starts, and the Orioles have touched him up for 2 2-run homers. And the Pearce blast has given them the lead.
See Pearce's hit speed at 97 miles an hour, but you know, one of the things is, and I'm sure they talked about this in their pregame meeting, just trying to get Keuchel up, and both the home runs, one from Joseph and now Pearce, both elevated pitches about belt high, and they were able to get to it. So stay aggressive up there and did not let that one get by, because we've seen what Keuchel can do when he keeps the ball down in the zone, and when he gets ahead, going to work with both that changeup and the breaking ball.
And there's a base hit for Hardy. That one was out over the plate. So JJ 1 out of 3, 3 straight hits off Keuchel. So Pearce now has 2 home runs in the past 5 games. As he is showing signs of breaking out of it. He homered on Thursday here against Seattle, and now he homers in the first game against the Astros to give the Orioles the lead.
And nothing cheap about that one, driving it to right center field. On a line.
And here's Caleb, 1 out of 2 with his 2-run home run. And it's low. Well, Dallas Keuchel with the start, 6-0 with his ERA. Pitchers who have started 6-0 with an ERA below 1.75. This goes back to 1969. Keuchel is the best. 6-0 in 2015. Pedro's on that list. Tommy John's on that list. Ron Guidry in his brilliant 25-3 season. And Sonny Siebert in 1971.
Pretty impressive stuff, and kind of just shows pitchers don't have to throw 98, 99 miles an hour to have success. He's throwing 89, 90 miles an hour with his fastball, but he's locating it okay. Then he's getting good movement, late movement in the zone. That's why he gets so many ground balls, but you can tell the importance of keeping it down in the zone. Every time he's elevated, it flattens out a little bit. Seen some good swings.
Well, you showed earlier with his pitch repertoire that he throws 33% off-speed pitches, 33% non-fastballs. Is that high for a starter?
Not really.
There's a double play ball. Altuve to VR and back to first. And Caleb Joseph bounces into a 4-6-3 to end the inning, but not before Steve Pearce, following a Delman Young single, hits it out to center field. His 5th home run has put the Orioles on top. Leaving the field with Buck Showalter. We're not sure if he injured himself on the swing. He did grimace a bit. Let's take a look. Here's the swing, and slowly going to first base on the single. He did stay in the run, but now leaves the game. So Pierce, who began the game at first base, will move over to second, and Chris Davis comes in the game. He'll go into the J.J. Hardy spot in the lineup. David Lowe now in left field. He takes over for Diaza, who moves to right. Delman Young is out of the game. And Cabrera moves over to short, with Pierce now at second. And we have a new pitcher. Oliver Drake comes on. Let's get to know Oliver Drake, 28 years old, made his major league debut at Miami on Saturday with 3 scoreless innings, 8 seasons in the minor leagues. And in Norfolk this year, 8 saves with a sub-1 ERA at 0.96. 43rd round draft pick in 2008, the 6th player from the Naval Academy drafted, and the 2nd this year to make his big league debut. Of course, Harris, we talked about earlier with the St. Louis Cardinals. So he is an interesting story, and he has earned his way here. Big guy, 6'4", goes 215, and deals low 1-0.
Now, one-time starter for the Orioles, and he thought he might be better served in the bullpen and made that transition very well. Had to persevere through some shoulder problems. But has had some great success now in AAA and closer role. Nice to see him get the opportunity here and have some early success.
High fly ball to right, slicing towards foul territory, and it is foul. You know, the Orioles, talk about player development. How about the last couple of weeks for the Orioles player development? Like Mike Wright, all he's done is 14 1/3 scoreless. Oliver Drake 3 the other night. Tyler Wilson, who's been sent back 2 scoreless innings, and Chaz Rowe yesterday 2 scoreless innings. Of course, Rowe was a minor league free agent signed. He's been around, but still joined the system and came up and contributed.
Well, really good sign there, I think, from the depth of the organization. I think a lot of those arms got looks, obviously, in spring training. They're comfortable with this team, so it wasn't like a huge shock for them other than just getting used to the major league atmosphere. I think this team welcomes some of the arms that come up through the minor leagues and have their opportunity at the major league level. They know the importance, and it's not just about, okay, congratulations, but okay, what are you going to do to help this team win? And these guys have certainly done that.
So Drake facing Chris Carter, Tucker on deck, and then VR. Carter wouldn't chase that splitter. And he got him. Got him to chase that one.
Great split finger right here from Oliver Drake. Boy, just tumbling down and in. See the grip. Beautiful split finger grip. Gets the action, that fade action, as it tumbles down. And then almost looks exactly like a fastball coming in. A great late bite down in the zone to get Carter.
Drake basically, Mike, has become a 2-pitch pitcher. He's got the fastball and he's got the splitter. And as a reliever, that's okay.
Sure is.
You know, one time through the lineup, maybe, and that's if he goes 3 innings.
Absolutely. Going to be able to locate the fastball, though, and that swing and miss split finger. But he's showing the ability to throw it early for strikes as well. So the swing and miss split finger down in the zone for the finishing pitch, and even to keep hitters guessing and off balance, throwing it early in the count.
Showalter looking at his matchup sheet. It swept to second base. Pierce tested, of course. And he gets it to first and 2 men down. Because none of these major league hitters have seen Oliver Drake, unless somewhere along the way they were in the Eastern League or the International League when Drake happened to get into a game. So with the right-hander on the mound, Colby Rasmus is going to come in and pinch hit. He talked to the Orioles briefly in the offseason about coming here, and they couldn't get together on a deal, or the Orioles maybe felt it wasn't a match. Of course, that information is never disclosed.
Right.
But nonetheless, he went to the Astros maybe with the thought of more playing time.
He's having himself a pretty good start. 8 home runs, so he's been a part of their home run production. Trying to find a home after playing with Toronto for so long, and off to a good start here in the first place Astros.
Pinch hitting for Jonathan VR, who does not have a home run on the year. Of course, in a 1-run game, the home run in play. Oliver Drake gets ahead of him. Orioles 4 runs on just 6 hits. The Astros 3 runs on 11. What a pitch. The downward movement on that pitch is incredible. It entices the hitter to swing, and then it just disappears.
Yeah, I mean, a beautiful split finger, shows itself in the strike zone and drops out of the zone.
Nothing in 2. And he didn't chase that time. A ball and 2 strikes. Interesting interview with Rick Dempsey on O's Extra today with Oliver Drake about the decision he had to make, either to stay in the Navy or, once he was drafted by the Orioles, take a shot at pro ball, and he decided to sign with the Orioles after his sophomore year in Annapolis.
Well, he was a real good athlete growing up in Massachusetts, a great hockey player as well. So he had the opportunity. Obviously a very smart kid, loves his country, had the chance to go to the Naval Academy, but
he's got to be smart.
Yeah, for sure.
He got him there. 2-2 with 2 outs and nobody on. Ooh, just low. Boy, that's a tough pitch to take with 2 strikes. He must have been looking splitter and didn't get it.
Quite possibly. Fooled by the fastball.
So full count with 2 down. And grounded foul. Ricochets up into the crowd. Colby Rasmus about to see a 7th pitch in this at bat.
See the pitch track, the location of the pitches. This is the one that got away, his 4th pitch, but everything else down in the bottom of the zone. That's great location. That's where you want to work.
Drake spent parts of the prior 4 years at Bowie. Fouls it back. He and Caleb Joseph, similar storylines, that finally getting a chance in the big leagues. Prior to last season, when Caleb began the year in AAA, he had spent 4 consecutive years with the Bayhawks. Never giving up.
And I think what might be helping a couple of these younger pitchers getting their opportunities here, as well as the fact they're throwing to Caleb. They threw to him in the minor league.
And the 3-2 is outside corner, called strike 3. Rasmus thought he had ball 4. Bottom of the 8th coming up. The O's up by a run.
Hi, I'm Oliver Drake from the Baltimore Orioles. Thank you to all past and current members of the United States military for protecting and serving our country.
On a Keuchel fastball, driving it to right center. It is a bullet to give the Orioles the 4-3 lead. Keuchel only giving up 6 hits, 2 of them 2-run homers.
Well, the Orioles with this 4-3 lead in the bottom of the 8th would love to get Zach Britton an insurance run. And Marwin Gonzalez comes on to play shortstop. The R was pinch hit for, so the Astros bench has 1 player remaining. And it's their regular catcher, Jason Castro, who did not start today. So Keuchel still in there at 86 pitches in the 8th, and nobody getting loose behind him. Cabrera, Diaz, and Machado as the Birds look for insurance. Outside 1-0. So the Orioles in this game beating the Astros at their game. Astros came in leading the league in home runs and the highest percentage of runs scored off those home runs. And the Orioles have a pair of 2-run blasts.
That's nice. The Orioles need that. They need that confidence going again. Get the power numbers back up, because really that's been a huge part of their success the past few seasons.
And the other thing that's nice, Paredes and Jones each with 25 RBIs. Somebody other than Paredes or Jones getting it done. And that's what you need. You need the contributions up and down the lineup because of the peaks and valleys of a season. Of course, Davis didn't start today. He has 22 RBIs. Strike on the corner. By the way, J.J. Hardy left the game with back tightness, so The back may have tightened up on that swing. There's Zach getting loose to come on and try to earn the save. And the 2-2 is outside. And the 3-2 is cued foul. Defensive swing. 28,909 the attendance today. Good crowd on this Memorial Day. Beautiful weather day to be at the ballpark. And then everybody's heading over to Mike Bordick's estate for a cookout later. And foul back.
Nice at bat here from Cabrera. Falling off some tough pitches. Orioles absolutely like some insurance runs. Keep some pressure on Keuchel. Try to get in that bullpen.
This will be the 8th pitch that Cabrera sees in this at bat. Bouncer right back to Keuchel. He just saved the base hit. Cabrera's out, 1 away. Fans, you can follow the Orioles all season with MLB.com at bat. It's the #1 app for live baseball. At bat is up to the moment at any moment. You get in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or your tablet today. Oriole fans happy their team is back home. A lot of orange in the stands today. Diaz looks at a breaking ball high. Cabrera has struck out and grounded out. Keuchel now has 11 ground ball outs, and that is foul down the line and just foul. Ball was coming right at Alfonso Marquez.
Well, that would have been fun to watch Diaz run. A lot of room down that right field line with Springer playing off. Gets on top.
And it was foul. Good call. Fans may have hoped it went over the base fair before hitting foul. Ball and a strike on Diaz. Popped up. Third baseman Valbuena calls. He's got it for the out and 2 men down. The Astros in the 9th, down by a run at the moment, will have Conger, Marisnick, and Springer due up. That is 8, 9, and 1. Springer has already homered in this game. Orioles try to win on Memorial Day. Manny Machado 1 out of 2 plus a walk. Line right at the shortstop, who drops the ball, but right at his feet, and he throws it across to get Machado for the out. The 3 up, 3 down go the O's. We head to the 9th. Britton will come on. O's 3 outs away from a win. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Coons.com. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons. Beautiful view of the Inner Harbor on this Memorial Day as the Orioles look to get a win. Leading at 4-3 as we head to the ninth inning. And here comes the closer.
Yeah, it's time for our AT&T call to the bullpen. AT&T, proud partner of the Baltimore Orioles. AT&T mobilizing your world. Zach Britton, Orioles closer. Take a look at his pitch arsenal this year. Fastball 87% of the time. Breaking ball 13% of the time. A couple great weapons there. 2.76 earned run average. 10 saves out of his 11 opportunities. 22 punchouts, just 3 walks for Zach Britton. He attacks hitters, opponents hitting just 246. The righties up to 283, but the lefties, not much of a chance, just .83.
He will face 3 consecutive right-handed batters in this inning. Conger, a switch hitter, batting right. And he fouls it off 0-1. Zach has saves in his last 3 appearances, covering 2 1/3 innings. He's allowed 2 hits and struck out 3 combined over those 3 games. The saves against the Angels, the Mariners, and the Marlins. Fastball bounces 1-1.
Britton and Keuchel, very similar lefties in the fact that when it's down in the zone, they work that lower third of the plate. They get incredible movement. A lot of ground balls from both Britton and Keuchel, but when the pitch is up, it stays flat, flattens out a little, so both striving to keep the ball down in the bottom of the zone.
Bounce to third, that stays fair. Manny takes his time, good throw, 1 away. The body clock of a good fielder. Knowing the catcher's running, no rush, take your time, make a real good throw, and he did.
Yeah, I think the importance of that is Manny able to get his feet moving to the target. Even though slow runner, you still want to stay aggressive with your body. He caught it nice and clean. I think it looked real easy, but nice job driving towards first base.
Jake Marisnick, the number 9 batter. Fly ball right center field. He got a lot of it. That ball's hit deep, but Diaza runs it down and 2 away. That ball died, Mike, as it was heading towards the gap. Nice running grab by Diaza.
I think he got it pretty well. Diaza, a nice read. I'm going to flag it down after starting the day out in left field. Look at that. Puts his head down. Nice angle and gets to the spot in plenty of time. Nice play by Alejandro.
Fans coming to their feet now. O's out away, but this is a dangerous hitter, George Springer. 3 for 4 with a home run. That's a great idea.
Yeah,
you know he's looking fastball.
Good breaking ball. He's got a good one. He's thrown it more this year. Of course, that fastball is pretty impressive as well. But mix it up, keep him off balance. Springer having a nice day.
Down and away, a ball and a strike. Springer's just 25 years old, facing Britton. When Springer was drafted in 2011, he was the 11th player taken in that first round. Buck has been talking quite a bit lately with the draft coming up next month, how difficult it is to find hitters in the draft, in particular right-handed power. The Astros saw Springer there at UConn, and they drafted him in 2011. Strike at the knees. Dreckman, without a doubt, has been a pitcher's umpire today, Mike, but he's been very consistent.
Yeah,
He's had a great day behind the plate. Britton getting a call there in the bottom end of the strike zone. So 2-2 with 2 down. The fans looking for a K. And he fouls it back at the plate to stay alive.
Well, a nice little ground ball would do.
That would certainly do. Or a pop-up foul to first.
Just an out, right?
There you go. When Springer was coming through the minors, Mike mentioned he was called up last year. In 2013, he hit 37 home runs in the minor leagues. That'll get you noticed. 2-2 on him with 2 down in the ninth. And he struck him out, and the Orioles win. What a big, big win coming home for the Birds as they get the opener of this 3-game series against the AL West leading Astros. A bullpen game. Brock, Drake, and Britton combined to get it done over the final 4 innings. Britton gets the save, and the Orioles on Memorial Day beat the Astros 4-3.